Guys, who will win Defensive Player of the Year?
This is tough.
Here are our picks. Tass going with the Rockets' big man, Superman there, Dwight Howard.
He's back.
Lee likes Serge Ibaka. Trey, despite not being here, likes LeBron James. And I'm going with a repeat Defensive Player of the Year winner in Joakim Noah with the Bulls. Tass, have to admit, a little surprised with your Dwight pick. Why are you leaning towards him?
Well, physically, he's going to be better. I think we were all too busy ridiculing how he exited Orlando in 2012 to understand how difficult it is to come back from back surgery for a big man. He's 2 years removed from them back surgery now. He's only 28 years old. I think he's going to move a lot better like he did in those Orlando days, intimidating guys all over the place. Second thing, Trevor Ariza is his new starting small forward, a better defensive forward than Chandler Parsons.
Right.
So I think Dwight isn't going to have to cover as much ground, make up for guys' mistakes as much as he did last year. Plus, Patrick Beverley was out for about 25, 26 games. So that's a big, big factor. And they're not starting from scratch here.
Yeah.
They're an average defensive team. They're about 13th last year. And the last thing, they just know who they are a little bit better. This is their second year together. I'm talking about Dwight and James Harden. And they're saying all the right things about playing defense in camp. They know if they're going to get better, it's not offense. They're fantastic.
Right.
It's on the defensive end. So I think just a little familiarity. They have a bit of a hierarchy now with Ashik and Jeremy Lin leaving. This is going to be a better team.
All right, you go with Superman. Lee, you said Serge. Why the Serge protector?
I think he finally gets the recognition that he deserves this year.
Because he's always in the running.
He's always in the running. He's been a great defender for a long time. And last season, he played the most minutes of his career, though he blocked 23 fewer shots than the season before. You might think, well, maybe he's not as good a defender. But the thing is, teams and players are actually keeping away from him now because he's such a presence there. Last year, he led the league in defensive impact. Now, that takes into account blocks, steals, rim protection, opponent's field goal percentage when he's on the floor. Now, I really like that they can now measure a stat like this because for so long defensive players get overlooked because it's a little bit harder to quantify their impact. But Serge Ibaka, I mean, remember the playoffs last year against the San Antonio Spurs? The first two games he didn't play. Oklahoma City got murdered, and then in the next two games came back, they tied the series. I know obviously San Antonio went on to win the championship, but Serge had such a huge impact on those second two games. San Antonio were even afraid. They didn't know quite how to handle him. So I think he finally gets that recognition this year, and I hope he wins it because he's been such a good defender for so long.
He's just grown as a good positional defender as well. Forget about the blocks. Doesn't matter if they drop down.
No.
If the last few years, he's just gotten become a smarter defender and just knows where to be on the floor.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Guys know that when they come in, sometimes you won't be able to measure a stat where a guy comes in, sees him, turns around, and then passes off to someone else and they put up a three-pointer or something with the shot clock expired.
Oh, it intimidates a lot of guys.
Exactly.
As does Dwight. I mean,
a lot of these guys do. But that's the thing about Serge is he is there and his presence has such an impact on the rest of his team.
Well, I'm going with Noah, who definitely plays defense a little differently than your Dwights and your Serge Ibakas. He can play 1 through 5. On the floor a lot of times. You'll see him pick up point guards. He'll get down in his defensive stance, and he'll keep them out. So I like him to repeat because in this category or in this award, it happens a lot. I mean, you go through the past. Dwight Howard did it 3 times in a row, but guys like Ben Wallace and Zoe and Deke and Elijah and Rodman. And with Noah, it isn't really all about the numbers, and that's where we've headed with this Defensive Player of the Year award. We give respect now to a guy that sort of leads his team to a top 5 or top 3 defense in the league. Noah, Gasol 2 years ago, Tyson Chandler, the impact he had with the Knicks. And so I don't see any reason why the Bulls, first off, probably won't be the best defense in the league still, and why Noah won't get that recognition again. But I want to get to Trey's pick about LeBron James because I think it's a little interesting. We've heard LeBron talk in the past about, hey, I want to go get the Defensive Player of the Year award.
I want that MJ award.
I want that MJ award. We know Jordan did it once in his career. The narrative sort of works where this could be the year where that's a possibility. LeBron going back to Cleveland, if he could have an impact on the defensive side of the ball, get that Cavs' entire defense playing better, maybe it's the year that he does get the votes for this.
That makes sense. And I think he can expend more energy playing with Kyrie Irving, who's going to be handling the ball a ton. LeBron had to do so much on the offensive end for the Miami Heat that he's not going to have to do with Cleveland Cavaliers because Kyrie is just used to handling the ball so much. So the narrative is there.
You think he can put more energy on the defensive side?
I think he couldn't be the great defender that he is. Listen, he can do whatever he wants on the basketball floor. He can be a great defender on every single possession, but he couldn't because I think he had to expend too much energy on the offensive end.
I think, unfortunately, we take his defense for granted still a little bit. I think he's been such a good defender for so long. The standard is so high that it doesn't stand out as much as it could. Because I think he should have won it the year Marc Gasol won it, and absolutely no disrespect to Marc Gasol, is a fantastic defender. But LeBron's impact on his team, and again, guarding 1 through 5, any position. Anytime Eric Spoelstra needed a stop, he'd put LeBron on the defender. We saw it against Tony Parker in the finals. I mean, he's just an outstanding defender, and he should get that recognition. I just think that ship might have sailed for him, though.
This is a very tough prediction here, this Defensive Player of the Year. Many other candidates. Roy Hibbert, let's say he keeps the Pacers as one of the best defenses in the league. Possibility, DeAndre Jordan with the Clippers. Maybe Kawhi Leonard. It's tough for a wing guy to pick up this award, but he's a great defensive player. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Marc Gasol, again. There's tons of guys. Let us know what you think. Hashtag the starters, your Defensive Player of the Year predictions. On to the next question. And man, it's a weird one. This one's the weirdest one we've had
the starters.
yet. Guys, which random nickname will Tass try to get to stick this season?
Yeah, it's a bit of an annual tradition here on the starters. I give someone a nickname.
It's like Halloween.
And hopefully it sticks.
Right.
Let me take you through some of the nicknames I've given out in the past. Eric Maynor.
Yeah.
Giving him the nickname of the Mainer's office. That makes sense. Wherever he shot the ball from, I called it the Mainer's office. Unfortunately, he's been relieved of his duties as mayor. He doesn't have a job. Ricky Rubio. Pretty tricky, Ricky.
I actually still use this one.
Pretty tricky. I mean, it's just so much fun to say. And last year, I gave Nick Calathis the name of Nicky Baskets because he comes from Greek descent. His last name, Calathis, actually translates to baskets.
Wow.
So that makes sense.
The more you know.
I sound like the dad from my big frat Greek wedding.
There's some logic behind it then, isn't there? It's
not much.
Oh, there's lots of things. I mean, those three were great.
Well, let's get to the new ones here then.
This
what do we got?
year, I didn't come up with a nickname. I was in a musical mood. So I came up with the song instead. Now, whenever you guys talk about the Sixers, to make it a little more interesting, you should sing this. You have to sing this. Noel, Joel, Noel, Joel.
Got a beautiful voice.
Injury prone, but play basketball well. Sam Hinkie's a Scrooge. Why do you want to lose? Play for the spirit, not lottery moves. Wouldn't that make talking about the Sixers more interesting?
Well, make it a lot longer.
Christmas.
Well, no. Noel, Joel, it's perfect. It's perfect.
Wow, that's good stuff, Tass.
All right,
I'd love to say. I think Trey also was leaning towards the Sixers as well.
Yeah, he did. He sent in his pick. He knows that I love squirrels.
Yep.
So he called Nerlens Noel Squirrelins Noel.
Yeah, I like that.
That's good. I mean, I do love squirrels. Unfortunately, here in Atlanta, we only have brown squirrels. Up in Canada, it's a melting pot of squirrels. There's brown squirrels.
There's a white
black
squirrel.
Squirrels. There was a white squirrel. He died, though.
What?
So they're extinct.
There was just one.
Yeah, there was just one.
Okay, Lee, help. I don't know how you do it, but help Tass out. Which nickname is he going to try and push on everyone this year?
I'm going with Boston Celtics rookie Marcus. He's so smart.
Simple.
Now, yeah, I
Very
think
simple.
This guy, we don't quite know exactly how good his game's going to be, but he's got a good body, which I like for rookies coming in. I think he's going to take his opponents in low post score, and I think Tass is going to say all season, Marcus, he's so smart.
I'm going with international rookie Bulls forward Nikola Mirotic. Because you like puns. We're in Atlanta here. You've been to the Coke Museum.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some sort of Coca-Cola Mirotic. Maybe you call him the refresher. I don't know. I'm not the expert at this task. I'm just trying to give you a suggestion.
Stacey King has already gone with the Ricola, which is kind of hard to beat.
That's true. All right, guys, let us know on Twitter. Give Tass a suggestion, a player at least, for a new nickname. Got to take a break. When we return, can Harden and Howard win a championship for Houston? Lee jumps on the hot seat next. You're watching The Starters.